Gretchen Walsh is an absolute torpedo and talent in the water. It's technique, training, and determination. In this video, I'm going to break down her explosive start and the drills that she uses to dominate above and below the water. We're also going to do a deep dive into her secret weapon, and that's the underwater kick. And after spending over an hour filming her underwater, I discovered something that no one is talking about. So pay close attention because this analysis is going to be eye-opening. First, let's take a look at her start. There she is on the block, eyes down, really good athletic position. Look at her back leg where it is with the foot and the front leg. Now this takes a lot of flexibility because you're not going to be able to have your hips so high relative to your feet on the block. This athletic posture is what sets everything up. Now if we had another angle, you could see that her body is positioned forward. If you look at the direction of where her feet are pointing, she's pointing to the other end of the pool. Now what happens next is something that a lot of people overlook. So we're gonna go ahead and progress a few frames. This is in super slow motion. Look what she just did. If you notice, I'll go back here. Look at where her head is now, and let's track forward a few frames. If you notice, her head is pulling back. Now the reason for this is because she's creating leverage. Now this is a very advanced skill. You really should only do this if you can do what she's about to do next, which is pulling with her arms. So pay attention to this right here. I'm going to clear the screen. Now let's take a look at how she comes off the ball. Look at her arms. Her arms are generating that thrust. So her arms don't move, but her whole torso is moving forward. And look, it's all leverage with her hands. This is the first thing that happens on the start. But if we rewind just a few frames before that, it starts with an athletic position. If you can't get into that athletic position, you really need to work on your flexibility. And also there are things you can do in dry land. She's obviously a world-class athlete, has great flexibility, posture, and can create leverage with her hands. So let's go ahead and watch her, what she does next, because it's really fascinating to see this level of explosiveness. And now you can see, how did her hands get over here when before they were here? And so that is the leverage that we're talking about. Now, if you notice, where are her eyes looking and where is her head going? She's going forward. She's not going up. She's not going down. She's going forward. Watch a few frames later. You can see now she's getting full leverage of the front foot, but it started with this back foot because the back foot is actually the thing that allows you to push at the very beginning. If you think about it, at the very start, all of your weight is on the front foot. So you don't really have as much leverage until the end when you're basically about to leave the block. All the leverage is actually on that back foot. So now let's continue to progress a few slides later, and you can see she's driving forward, and now you can see her body line is starting to form. She's still making forward progress. She's still driving forward. And even though she actually has one of the slowest reaction times in terms of when the beep goes off to when her foot leaves the block, it really doesn't matter because even if you're, let's say, 0.05 or 0.1 slower on that part of the race or that part of the start, if you enter the water with more momentum and have a cleaner entry, you can make up way more than just the 0.1 that you were slow on the start. So a lot of people overthink the reaction time needs to be really fast. And sure, in the 50, it is an important thing. But when you think about it, it's better to actually enter cleanly and carry momentum. Remember, momentum equals mass times velocity. So you want to carry as much velocity into the water as possible. And that means entering the water in a very small hole. So let's clear and keep looking at this, what she does frame by frame. Now look at the streamline she's about to have. Boom. She's already in a perfect streamline position, and she is still about half a meter above the surface of the water. Her feet are going to close up, and then she's going to enter the water in this beautiful streamlined position. Let's keep going and see how she does. There we go. Look at the hand entry, and now frame by frame. This is a work of art. Look at that. Her feet could have been together a little bit more, but I mean, this is a training session. She's doing a demonstration, and as you can see, she does enter the water through a very narrow hole. Her whole body literally enters, and look how far away she is from the block. Literally, the blocks are not even in the frame anymore. That's how much leverage, and she's a tall person, so she's entering like 4 meters away from the wall, and this is the most important thing when it comes to the start. Not necessarily how far you go, but more importantly, how you enter the water in a clean hole. That is the most important thing. So now let's take a look at some of the things that she's doing from a drill perspective to be so fast once she enters the water. Now this is one of the drills that she demonstrated where you do dolphin kick on your back. I'm going to play it here so you can get a sense of what it looks like. And what you're trying to do is create this undulation where you're kicking both up and you're kicking down. And look how good of a job she does with that. She's really engaging her whole body, her core, her toes are pointed. Well, we're going to come back to this drill. That's a different drill. So if you look here, let's go ahead and pause it when we get a lot of range of motion, and you can see what she's doing right there. Take a look at that. Now you might be thinking, well, she's bending her knees. I paused it at the point of greatest knee bend. And again, she's doing a drill. She's not really going very fast. She's doing it in an exaggerated motion. You want to try and do your best not to bend your knees that much. About where she is the most that you should be bending your knees. Now, a lot of people really don't do this very well in dolphin kick, and this applies for freestyle, butterfly, and backstroke. It's kicking in both directions. So if you look here, that's the obvious one. It's obvious how, where I drew the arrow, she's going to be kicking. This one's obvious. But what's not as obvious is kicking in the other direction. If you think about it, there's 50% up kick, 50% down kick. Now, you're actually stronger on this kick. This kick is actually going to create more propulsion, but that doesn't mean we neglect. So if you think about like power production, maybe this one right over here is going to be 70% of your production or 60% of your power production. And this kick right here is going to generate about 30% or 40%. The problem is people treat this one like it's 90% and this one like it's 10%. And so you're missing out on that 20 to 30% power production. Not only that, the better you can recover on this kick, on the down kick, the faster you're going to get to the more powerful kick. And so this is a great drill, whether you do it on your back or on your stomach. When you do it on your back, you can breathe the whole time. Notice how her arms are at her side and she's using her entire core. We didn't even talk about the abs. The abs are fully engaged. The lower back is fully engaged. Let me clear it. So all of these muscles through her core are fully engaged. And what we're trying to do is increase the surface area at which she's able to kick, because the more surface area, the faster that you're going to go. This is a great drill you can do on all planes of motion. She's demonstrating on the back. You can do this on your stomach. You can do it on your right side, and you can do it on your left side. Let's take a look at another drill that she does, which is really phenomenal at developing this body undulation, but now we're starting to use our arms. It's a simple single arm butterfly stroke. So if you notice, she's got the full undulation with her body, and I want you to pay attention when she comes back, how she breathes to her side. Now you might be thinking, well, in butterfly, breathe to the front. The idea here is we're focused on the undulation, not the breathing. So you can actually do like a freestyle stroke because you're going to be breathing on your side. So if you see here, she's taking a breath. This looks like a freestyle stroke. Look at her body position, her fingertips are pointed, and she's breathing to this opposite side. Now, when you're doing this drill, I like this version of it that she's demonstrating because it really allows you to focus on the undulation, and you can even use that arm like a freestyle stroke to set yourself up. So let's go ahead and let me clear the screen so you can see what this looks like a little bit better. And so let's watch it again. Take a look at that body undulation. There we go. You can see the undulation. And then let's go ahead and pause it at the greatest point of undulation. Sort of right there, you get a sense for it. Let's find another frame where it's even better. Ooh, we missed it. There we go. So you see a little bit of undulation. Now, it's not as severe as when she was demonstrating the drill. And when I say severe, I mean like exaggerated. That's why we do drills, because if you're not able to exaggerate the range of motion, you're not going to get the right muscle recruitment, and therefore you're not going to be able to get your full abilities, your capabilities, what your potential is through that range of motion. So that's why I really encourage you, when you're doing these drills, whether it's in butterfly or any other stroke, you really got to make sure you're getting a full range of motion. And then on this drill specifically, it's working on the timing of the undulation, adding in the stroke, and getting in that flow state. Now, this is another drill where you go 3 dolphin kicks on your stomach and streamline at the surface, and then you do 1 butterfly pull, but you don't recover. So if you take a look here at how she's doing it, we have it in both angles. I filmed her in both directions, and you can just basically take a breaststroke, stroke, or just recover your hands, get back to the streamline. You're going to do 3 dolphin kicks, and then watch the pull. This is really to set you up for the pull. She has an unbelievable pull. This is a better angle. We're going to see it. So right here, you can see her body undulation, and then look at how strong her pull is. I mean, this is phenomenal. This is why she's the best butterfly swimmer in the world. This is why she's good at basically all the strokes, because she has such a strong feel of the water. And with both of these pulls, she's basically able to engage what's called an early vertical forearm. And this applies to all the strokes. If you can notice where the blue arrows are, right? This part, let me draw with a circle. So this part is her forearm. And on both of her arms, she's able to generate a lot of leverage. And that's why she's moving so fast. Wow, look at that. And notice how she follows through on the stroke. Let's watch one more stroke cycle. I think we can watch one more stroke cycle here. Boom. So notice there's the early vertical forearm right there. She's going to be pulling just like that. And then watch how she follows through. Do you see that? Her arm pull came all the way back. And that's really important because now she finishes the stroke there. And you want to almost be like pushing the water out the back. So that's basically, her hands, where I drew this blue arrow, that's where the hands finish the stroke. And if you were doing the full stroke, you're going to recover your hands all the way in front and they're going to come back around. Let's watch this one more time because I think it's really a powerful view to see how good her catch is. Watch this. Here we go. Ready? Boom. Look at that catch. Now, the next video that we're going to show is the secret of how she swims so fast and her kick is so good. But we're also going to see a different angle of how she pulls. So we basically had her do a 50 butterfly off the block. And watch here. So she just dove in. She's right there. And watch her swimming. Look at that speed. Look at the catch. Unbelievable. And then when she turns and comes off the wall, I'll share with you the secret. So I got to pause it right there because this is so powerful. Right there, you can see the body undulation literally starts. I mean, you can't get better than this. This is one of the best videos that I've been able to record of a world-class butterfly swimmer. I don't have any footage of this of like Michael Phelps. I mean, there's tons of race footage, but this angle and when she comes off the wall in the dolphin kick is some of the best content that you're going to see when it comes to the mechanics of seeing a world-class swimmer. I'm literally 1 meter away from her pull pattern here. And you can see, look at how she's pulling the water. That's where the pressure is being applied. But if you just do that, well, now you're going to push your hips basically down. So instead, take a look at where the pull's actually going to happen. It's going to happen from here, and she's going to pull backwards because she's going to engage in that early vertical forearm, right? So watch what happens here. We're going to go frame by frame. Do you see that? Wow, one more time. This is so important, guys. You got to pay attention here. Wow, you can see it right there. That's the pull right there. And you can see how she's generating all that leverage. And that's why she's so fast. Also, pay attention to where her hips are. Her hips are high. Her legs are super high. So she's getting a lot of leverage. She's really digging in to the water. And her fingertips, look at her where her hands are. Her fingertips are really driving back. That's that early vertical forearm. Now, I'm not going to interrupt it. We're going to watch her go through the turn. I cut the angle so we can see the good position. And then she's going to dolphin kick off the wall. And that's where the secret is. Ready? Here we go. Watch her come in, final stroke, into the wall. Watch the head, drive down. Great body position. She's swimming next to some other really good swimmers too, but she's making them look not very fast right here. There's the turn, streamline off the wall. Look at that streamline, and there's the dolphin kick. Full body undulation, kicking in both directions. Wow. Now, I want to pause on a few things. First of all, look at the streamline. She's literally like a missile coming off the wall. I mean, her whole body is super narrow. Now, you might be thinking, well, she's angling down a little bit. She can get away with that because she has such a phenomenal underwater dolphin kick. She doesn't want to surface right away. She has a secret weapon. She's trying to use the secret weapon. So let's go ahead and keep watching and see what happens next. There's the streamline. And look, there is that undulation. Now, this is the maximum knee bend that she has. And when I'm referring to knee bend, I'm talking about this. Whoop, there it is. So you can see here, this is quite a lot of knee bend, even for her. Again, this is a practice session. She's swimming in a new pool for the first time. It's a shallow pool. So think about all these different variables, not making excuses for her, just trying to explain the reality. And so watch, there she is. I mean, look at that streamlined position. Now let's pay attention to her dolphin kick. Let's zoom in on that. Do you see it? How about now? Do you see it? We're going to have to go frame by frame, and you're going to see her secret weapon. Ready? Ready for it. There. Take a look at what's happening to her feet. We don't see it in this angle completely, but watch the next dolphin kick as she swims away from me. You're going to see that her feet actually cross over, making her body even more narrow. Look at how streamlined her body is. Now let's go forward a few frames to the next dolphin kick. Boom. Do you see it right there? Her feet are actually crossing over each other. This is maybe never before seen footage or commentated on, but I think this is one of the reasons she has so much separation from everyone, because her body line from her fingertips, through her shoulders, through her hips, through her ankles, and then through her feet is super, super narrow. And she's literally like a fish moving through the water. So let's go ahead, and I want you to pay attention to this. Let's just watch a few more kicks and see that again. Watch how her feet cross over each other. Ready? You don't see it there that well. And there you can start to see it. And there you can start to see it. One more kick. There you can start to see it. That's probably the best one to watch right there. And she just keeps going. So let's go ahead. Right there. That is some fancy fish swimming right there. She's narrow. Her body is really, really tight through the water. Remember, momentum equals mass times velocity. So she's trying to carry as much velocity as possible off the wall. Her mass is how much she weighs, but then also the resistance that she has is what's going to dictate her velocity. So you want to be as little resistance as possible, carry as much momentum as possible. And the way she's able to do it is by maintaining this body position, which allows her to continue moving through the water super, super fast. It's a work of art. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys are interested in learning more about how she's a super fast swimmer, make sure you check out this next video over here. I'll see you over there, and happy swimming.